We've been talking a lot about conflict and communication and relationships. Here's something I've been finding a lot of, and I'd be curious if you find this to be true also. I think in our culture, more often than not always, but I think more often than not, we spend more time telling people stuff than we do listening or asking questions. Think about it like this. How many times do we find ourselves wanting to tell people something so much that we interrupt each other? Listen to the average conversation and see how many times they allow people to finish their thought, to finish the sentence, to complete a thought, and actually let there be silence. I think you'd find that rarely that happens. We're so eager to share. So it looks like this. You're talking to me and I'm going, yeah, but you know what I'm saying? We make those noises that say what I have is so important. And while the other person is talking, generally what are we doing? Not listening, right? We're formulating what we want to say, how we want to say it, which means we're generally not hearing what the other person is saying. What I want to suggest to you today is a different approach. See if we can step away from being ones that want to tell people so much, but simply want to listen. And I want to give you a simple 3-step process that, although it's simple, I think is incredibly hard. And let me just share a quote from Stephen Covey. He says, "Seek first to understand and then to be understood." I wish you'd all really take that to heart. Me too, right? That we would think about that. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Here's the 3-step process, what we call the question-based process. 1, we ask questions. What are they? Open-ended, probing, and purposeful questions, right? We ask open-ended questions. Now you got to be careful of those. Sometimes we think we know. So I might do this. I might say, "How was your weekend?" Sounds like an open-ended question. And what do I get in response? Good. Try this with your kids, right? "How was your day at school today?" Good. Wow. Really learned a lot, right? So be careful of your open-ended questions. Open-ended questions should solicit information, should cause people to want to share with you, not from a defensive perspective. So not, "Well, why did you do this?" Right? But, talk to me a little bit about when you did this, what was going on, what you were thinking about, why you did, we kind of couch it in a way that causes people to feel safe and want to share with us. Number 2 is, once we ask the question, listen. And listening sounds like this. Silence, right? How many of us appreciate and like silence? And although if you're like me, I'm like, I just wish we had peace and quiet, right? We say that. But in conversation, I don't think we allow silence. I think it makes us uncomfortable. I would encourage you to try this today. Go ask somebody an open question like this. Just ask them, "So tell me a little bit about your weekend." And they start talking. And when they're done, before you say a word, simply count to 3 seconds your head like this. That was about 3 seconds. Give 3 seconds and watch what happens. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Within that 3 seconds, they're going to start talking again. Because generally when there's silence, and I'm not just staring at them, right? I'm just looking at them going, yeah, I'm listening, right? And I'm just giving that little bit of space. They go to share more because we're not used to that, and we generally like to share that. So they will take advantage of that. And that's good news because that means we're learning. And the more we learn, the better we can move our relationships forward, the better we can deal with the issues, challenges, frustrations, conflict, right? So step number 2, listen. And then here's number 3, all right? This one may be a little bit different. Maybe you're not used to this. It's reflectively and empathically respond. It simply means this. I ask my open-ended question, then I listen. When they're done, I wait the 3 seconds. If they keep talking, then I listen more. When they're done, I wait the 3 seconds. If they don't start again, then before I say anything, I'm going to share back what I heard them say in 2 ways. Reflectively meaning, what did I hear you say? Not parroting, all right? Don't repeat verbatim. That's annoying, all right? Don't do that. At the same time, don't interpret it. It's not my interpretation of it. I'm simply going to share back in my own words what I heard you say. And the empathic part of it is, when I share back what I heard you say, I'm going to try to include some of the feelings or emotions I heard from you. So let me just go through that again. We ask open-ended questions. We listen, actively listen, and then we reflectively and empathically respond. I think if you try to work on that today, you'll find that it's much, much more difficult and harder than we ever thought it would be, even though it sounds so simple. But I think if we all got better at asking more questions, listening, sharing back what I hear people saying, and we do more of that than we do telling people and wanting to make sure they get us. If we do what Stephen Covey shared, and that is seek first to understand and then to be understood, I think we would love the results in our relationships.